Okay. So often you hear people talk about healing. What is healing, right? And it is imperative that we know what people talk about when we talk about healing, right? Earlier I was talking about, you know, bringing out the things that needed to come out to be healed, right? We was talking about pressure. We was talking about the pressure that it took to bring out the traumas to heal. A lot of people talk about healing generational curses, healing old traumas and things like this. But today I want to give you a lesson on what healing is. What does it mean to heal? Can anybody answer that question? I'm gonna give y'all a couple. I'm gonna give y'all a minute. Can anybody answer the question, what does it mean to heal? Put it in the comment section. Not none of my students. If you're my disciples, it's not for you. It's for the people out there. If you know what it means to heal, I want you to put it in the comment section. What does it mean to heal? So, Yasin says, forgive yourself. Yes, that's part of it. Forgive others. Let go of the hurt and forgive yourself, says Kaja. That's part of it. To be at peace. That's a good one. Pretty Brown Round said that. To be at peace, okay. Anybody else? The comment stop. To get into alignment with the universe. Yes. To put our body at ease. Yes. To be able to face a part of yourself that you are constantly trying to run from, says Zay. It's a fact. Forgiveness is for yourself. To be one with nature, says Nia. Queen Libra says forgiveness is for yourself. And self-love says face your traumas head on. Lovely says a process of becoming balanced. Nana G, get out. Get out of the room. Breath of Life says Chini. True Reflection says balance. Self-love says to reprogram your DNA. Now, if you're on YouTube and you're watching this, you can also put your comment below because I would like to read it. With that being stated, all of the answers were like right on point. Y'all all like got it right, pretty much right there on point with it, right? So earlier we talked about pressure and what it took to bring out the traumas for you to heal first. If you want to heal something, you got to find out what are we healing, right? A wound, right? A void, you know, this space, this empty space inside of us we're trying to heal. But so many people, like I said, have this hard shell facade that we put up around, and we base our life around our traumas, right? So how do we heal? What does it mean to heal? Number one, we said that you cannot heal what is concealed. So you have to be put under pressure. Sometimes a traumatization or a toxic relationship or a toxic circumstance to bring out in you what you need to know about changing. So, what does it mean to heal? I'm gonna put it simple. To heal is to understand. Healing is all about changing your perception about the wound or the trauma. When people say, oh, you got a lot of healing to do, what they're saying is that there's inset traumas and dramas inside of you that maybe are even hidden from you, right? That are the reason why you're responding or doing things that you're doing because you need to heal, or I'm trying to heal. You cannot heal until what is hidden comes up, and then you change your perspective about the trauma. For instance, some of you might have been, should I say might have been, molested as children. That could be a trauma. Maybe you were abused as a child. That's a trauma. So all your life, you walk around with the idea to abuse because you was abused. So you become an abuser. And people will say you're abusing because you need to be healed. You had a trauma, you have mama issues, you've been abused or whatever. A lot of sexual predators, maybe someone that was actually molested or sexually abused themselves, and they become sexual predators. And that behavior is a face of some wound within self. And when we talk about healing, if you've been molested, if you've been abused coming up, right? And you've been living out your life from these traumas. Maybe you were neglected by your parents. Maybe there wasn't a village that raised you like many of us. For instance, a lot of people say I have mama issues because I don't treat women right. I don't treat, and they say you need to heal. You got a lot of healing to do. You disrespect women. You are very mean to women, and you're mean to women because you probably didn't get the love you're supposed to get as a child from a woman. So you need to heal. You didn't get the love you were supposed to get as a child, so you need to heal, right? You got a wound. You need healing. And so we have to ask, how do we heal these wounds? And the answer is, you heal by changing your perspective about the trauma. For instance, a lot of times, people that were molested need to go back into that time and replay that situation out and understand that the person that abused them wasn't in their right mind and forgive that person. Or understand it from a perspective as perhaps this was karma for something they did in a past life. And that was karmic debt. Nothing happens for no reason. Once we understand the real reason why something happened, we are released from that womb. Your wounds come from this understanding. And there's a quote that I state: behind all anger is hurt, and behind all hurt is a misunderstanding. So if we address the hurt, the wound, we will realize that it's just a misperception, a misperspective. If we have a healthy perspective, if we can have a healthy perspective, we can heal. Healing has everything to do with how we look at things as the victim. Once we are able to forgive, move forward, rationalize, understand, then the wound can heal because we have changed our perspective. Perspective is everything. So what is healing? Healing is a change of perspective. What does it mean to heal? What it means to heal is to actually cure the wound. And the way you cure the wound is by changing the perception mentally. For instance, if you were physically abused as a child, then you may need to go back into those traumas and understand that it took that to give you discipline in life. You know what I'm saying? And in life, you was going to need that. Like for me, as a child, I was physically abused, and understanding that of why that had to happen. You know what I'm saying? Now that I look back at my life, I see why everything happened, and I'm able to be healed from those wounds. A lot of people think, for instance, I have mother issues. You're like, oh, you say this stuff about woman, you treat women bad because you didn't have a mom. When I was growing up, I treated women extra good because I didn't have a mom. I was always looking for a woman, you know what I'm saying? I was the dude that was actually, growing up, I was the dude that was the sucker that would take whatever off a woman. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I wasn't healed. When I didn't understand who I was. It was actually the opposite. I wasn't abusing women. I was actually the dude that was the run over dude because of the fact that I wanted to fulfill that void so bad, so I would let a woman do whatever to me. You know what I'm saying? So actually it was totally opposite of that. I was abused by women in my earlier relationships when I didn't understand my mommy issues. Before I can give that love to myself, I would allow a woman to abuse me. I attracted a lot of, in my earlier ages, I attracted a lot of masculine women, and I used to be the type of dude that lived up under a woman. You know, that was me. I used to live up under a woman. I was that the dude that was on the couch with the video games, if that's not hard to believe. I was the dude that was, her support. It was like she's my mom, and I'm her son. That was the relationships I used to have before I was healed. I used to have those kind of relationships, believe it or not. And to the point where I was actually getting beat on. Like, women was hitting me. I know that doesn't sound probably right, but I even thought of that as being loved. Like when women hit me, I used to think like, wow, this is my mom. Like I have to listen to her. I used to really have these mama issues where I would attract these women that were very masculine, and I felt secure and safe with them. You know what I mean? And so, me having mama issues, I had to heal that. I had to give that love to myself. It was one time where I had a woman that was very abusive to me, like to the point where she would be very manipulative. She was a Scorpio. And I always was going with older woman all the time, always with older women. Because I would never date a woman my age because they didn't make me feel secure enough. I wanted a mother, you know what I mean? And so I would always date these older women, and they gave me this sense of nourishment, right? Because they were taking care of me. I was supporting them in their life. They were boss chicks. They had barber shops and salons and houses, and I was their boy toy. But I was really, when I look back at it, I was really fulfilling a void of having a mother. So it was totally opposite for me. I was the one being abused by the woman when I had mother issues. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought that the lack of having a mother there to take care of me. And, when a woman used to be like, cursing me out, or, even putting their hands on me, or making me sleep on the couch, or, you know what I mean, like having sex with me, but never telling me that I was like good at it, but I could tell I was good at it. But it was a very abusive relationship when I look back, but I attracted those things to myself because I had those mother issues. I remember woman after woman meeting different women that took care of me, and I didn't have the money. They had the money. They were wearing the pants, and I was the guy that was just like supporting everything that they did. You know what I mean? And I remember the disrespect publicly, where it was like dudes coming up to them, and you know what I'm saying? And I was that guy, you know what I'm saying? So I remember that, having that mother issue, and I remember what it was like until I healed from it, until the universe like literally made me realize like, yo, you have to be your mother. You have to love, you have to tap into your own femininity and give yourself that love and give yourself that protection and take care of yourself. You got to give that to yourself. You are your mom. My mom wasn't there, and it wasn't until I understood that perspective that, wait, I'm my mom. I can give myself the very best person that would never hurt me, would never do me like that. I'm the one that has to love me. I have to take care of myself physically, take care of myself. And so I left the relationship, which was traumatizing, right? Because I got kicked out. She kicked me out into the cold weather. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like freezing cold. But it was what was needed for me to pick up. I didn't have nowhere to live. And this is when I started, and then this is when I became a stripper. You know what I'm saying? I went from living with a woman to like finding a way to bring my own finances in, getting my own apartment, loving myself and doing what it took. But it took me to take measurements. Like the universe did not make it easy for me. It was very hard for me to be a stripper because I had so much, you know what I mean, that bravado, street pride, that being kicked out of my ass and reality hit me. I had nobody, no mother, no father, no uncle, you know what I'm saying, to be there for me. I had to provide for myself, so I had went, you know what I'm saying, to become a stripper. But I never regret becoming a stripper because at that point I was able to provide for myself through that. And I was able to become my own mother. I was able to take care of me. I was able to, as an exotic entertainer, I was able to make enough money to provide for me. And that empowered me, that healed me, that made me my own mother, and that healed the womb inside of me. I know a lot of people say, yo, man, you got mama issues. You know, I'm past all of those things. I know why I didn't have a mom coming in now. I know my purpose for being here. I'm in my purpose for being here. I know my mom wasn't needed. Like, the journey that I had was to make me who I am today. All of the hardship, all of the things that I thought were actually bad things growing up happened to make me who I am. You know, I'm self-made. No one was supposed to help me. I was supposed to do it on my own because I'm a God, right? And so this is the perspective that has helped me to heal my wounds. And so I'm no longer looking for love from a woman because I've given it to myself. And me giving it to myself, I could become a man now, right? Because I'm self-sustainable. I'm taking care of myself. I cook for myself. I'm nurturing myself. I'm nursing myself. I'm doing everything I would want a woman do for me. I did it for myself for years on purpose because I wanted to be my own mother. And I took care of myself very well. Okay, I was very selfish for a long time in my life. A woman could not get my heart. Like, I was like, nah, I'm cool. I got me. Like, you know what I mean? So it took me a while to even get in a relationship because I was so in love with me and taking care of myself. I had fell in love with the idea of loving me, right? So that was me healing my mother wound, you know? And it took me to change the perspective that someone owed me something that I owed myself. Once I changed that perspective, I was able to heal. Once I've applied the knowledge that I had, right? So it's very important that we understand what it means to heal. And I want people to know that I don't hate women at all. I just hold them to a high standard because I love myself. I hold females to a high standard because I love myself and I deserve the very best. So, and I have my own standards, you know what I'm saying, from what I need from the females around me, you know what I'm saying? You might not agree with that, but that's me, that's my thing, you know what I'm saying? You might be in a different stage or wherever you at in your life, you might need different. But yeah, so, you know, and that's the thing about healing, man. Like, you have to understand, like, if you was, for instance, abused like me, I went back into I was abused by Miss Bishop, the lady that adopted me. I went back to Miss Bishop as an adult, like kind of like Antoine Fisher. I faced her. I told her what she did to me. Of course, she denied that she abused me. But I told her that I loved her. And I told her that I forgive her. I told her that I understood. She had diabetes, right? This lady had diabetes. When her sugar got low, she used to abuse me, right? And for the longest, I carried that with me. You feel me? And for the longest, I carried that hurt with me. And to address her was very scary. Even as an adult, I addressed this lady, went up to her, and I told her, like, look, man, you do know what you did to me, right? And I was able to face her, and I was able to talk to her, and she denied all that. She was like, Lee, what are you talking about? But I realized that when I looked into the research of when someone's sugar gets low and how they can act when their sugar is low, I realized, like, whoa, the universe did this to me. And when I think about it, when she was abusing me, what did she do? She made me wash my own clothes by my own hand. She made me slave in a garden, grow my own food, right? And at the time, I thought people was calling us slaves because we was in the back building a garden, right? She had us, she neglected us in a way that we had to eat nothing but fruit. We had, me and my brother had a pear tree and an apple tree in the backyard, and we would rely on the fruit trees to eat sometimes because this lady would neglect us like that. But when I look back, I'm like, yo, she made us independent. She made me able to wash my own clothes by my own hand. She didn't let us use the wash machine. She made us, sleep in solitude. We was separate from the family. So therefore, I didn't have no attachment to family. So I was able to take a spiritual journey. It's very hard for a lot of people to take a spiritual journey because they have so many attachments. So throughout my life, I realized now that my journey and my purpose was to become a spiritual guru and become the Messiah, that I wouldn't need these attachments that many people have that they can't let go to take this spiritual journey. To get to the understanding that I've gotten to, you have to have no attachments. You have to literally have no attachments. You understand what I'm saying? So I understand now as an adult, as I healed, as I understood the perspective and I healed these wounds, I understood, like, yo, wow, like I really, needed these things to happen for me to fulfill my purpose. And it was no longer a thing of being a victim, like someone owed me something, but it became something that was preparing me for my destiny that I just couldn't understand at the time. So I'm blessed in that sense because I watch people struggle with letting certain family members go, with letting certain relationships go that I just don't have now. And I have the freedom and liberty to go far. I went far into the jungle and healed and physically to get to this knowledge that I had, and I tapped into it by literally being able to have solitude with myself and be on my own without no attachments and be able to just be free and untethered. And that is part of the reason why I was able to become who I became and find the knowledge that I found within me and apply the knowledge and go and, you know what I'm saying, and there's no one, you know what I'm saying, that attached there except for the people that might come along, where I have experience in life where people have come short stays in my life and they leave for whatever reason that make them repel from the relationship with me. It's all been destined for my path, right? And at first, I used to be growing up like, yo, I don't got a family, I don't have nothing. I used to look at things in a bad perspective. And so that created my trauma. As soon as I grasped a healthier perspective, I was able to heal those wounds because I wasn't looking at it like that no more. And that's where people go to psychiatrists and they talk to psychiatrists, and the psychiatrist kind of like shapes their mind to look at it in another perspective on their own, and then people heal from traumas this way. So healing has everything to do with changing your perspective on the trauma that happened to you and addressing and understanding maybe what your victimizer or, you know, the person that did the thing to you. So a lot of healing throughout my life came through knowledge of self, understanding my purpose, understanding my mission. I was able to let a lot of things go. Now, I know a lot of people like, yo, well, you do a lot of things that show that you might be still hurt. You might be still going through a lot of things. But I'm embodying the spiritual journey with my students and people around me, and I'm embodying a lot of energy, and I'm a channel. I'm actually a channel. You know what I'm saying? I made myself into the complete version of my purpose, which I am a basically channel for divinity. So, and like I said earlier in my last video, when I'm dealing with my disciples, I tap into their traumas and I become the catalyst that they need, whatever that may be. Most likely it's a toxic person or some toxic thing that they're dealing with within their traumas, and I become that and I react that for them. It becomes a reenaction of that trauma so that they can see it, but I'm also able to function through it and talk them through it. And so that's my gift, and that's how I heal. And anyone that's a healer is someone that can give you a better perspective on your trauma, someone that can help you see it from a place that is not hurtful or hurting you to move on from, or you get to take that weight off your shoulders and keep moving strong and just feel good about yourself, right? So yeah, we heal when what's concealed is revealed, and then we address it and we change our perspective about it. We forgive. A lot of people said forgive, and we start to understand, right? Because love is understanding. A lot of people say we love you. I love you. To love something is to understand it, and to understand it is to know it. So we have to remember, all anger, all pain comes from hurt, right? All traumas, all our wounds come from hurt. And all our hurt comes from a misunderstanding. So address the hurt to find the misunderstanding and be willing to heal. A lot of times as a healer, you might notice that you can give somebody a better perspective, but you can't make them adopt it. They might accept it at first. Many people want to hold on to their wounds. Many people don't want to let their wounds go, or they can't let them go because they have strong attachments to those wounds. And those attachments have come to something that gave them pity. Some people benefit from their wounds. Some people benefit from having a pity party about being a victim about something. Some people feel like they really, and as a healer, as someone that's giving them the better perspective, and you ever have a girlfriend or a guy friend that calls you all the time and complains about his issues or their issues, and you give them a healthy perspective on their issues, and then they're like, yo, you know what? That's right. You ever watch Family Matters? You ever watch these sitcom shows where they're resolving the issue? They always come to a healing point of the matter when they communicate and they come to an understanding and change their perspective about whatever's going on. That is the key to healing. So if you want to know if you're healed, if you can look into your deepest, darkest traumas and be able to talk and understand them, and you have released them, or you can be like, well, this is what happened to me, but I used to think about it like this, and now I think about it like this. You have been healed. Don't let anyone fool you. We're all healing, right? When we say we're healing, what that means is that we're all in situations that are revealing things to us that we need to look at so that we can change our perspectives about them and heal them. But when you are a healer, that means the universe has already put you through the situations that people are currently in, so that you made it through and you understood what it would take to be healed so that you can heal other people. So I want y'all to know I healed myself through the knowledge of self, through understanding that, and this is why I can explain this so clearly. To heal means to change your perspective on whatever the trauma is. It's to get to the bottom of the misunderstanding. It's to be able to sit through it and forgive. You can't forgive, and we gotta look at the word forgive, right? The word forgive, to give before it's deserved, right? We really can't forgive. We really can't forget, right? We're gonna forget something, get something before you're supposed to have it, right? Or we can forgive. We can give something before someone deserves it, right? We give it before. But even if you give something before someone's paid you back, there's a reason why you would give them that before they paid you back. Or, because you understood. I'm gonna give you this before you can even, me and you are even, and you can pay me back. Why? Because I know that it was a mistake. To forgive is to give somebody sympathy, is to give somebody a chance, is to give somebody understanding. I'm going to give you understanding. I'm going to forgive you understanding before you deserve it, because before you deserve it, by showing me that you would never do it again. So I'm going to forgive you understanding. Forgive you a chance. I'm going to let this go with the understanding that you're not going to do this again, or I'm not going to put myself in a position to allow you to do it to me again, so I can forgive you. I can give you this before you might deserve it from me, right? And then you forget, when you get something, you get it before someone gives it. So we forget, right? So it's probably, some people say, I forgive you, but I won't forget. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get from you. I'm gonna make you work for me to forget. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get it. I'm not going to forget. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to forget your debt. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important that we understand that forgiving is a process of understanding. You can't truly forgive anybody until you truly understand. You can't start to truly let go until you understand why. So changing the perspective is essential. You can't just say, oh, I forgive you, and you really don't. You're really not giving that person, you're not giving it up. You're not giving that person a chance. You're not saying, yo, I forgive you, right? I'm not going to forgive you anything. You know what I'm saying? So, it's very important that you say, yo, you know what? I'm going to give you this before you deserve, because you didn't pay your debt back. I'm going to forgive you mercy. I'm going to forgive you understanding, because I know that you didn't know what you were doing. You were hurt. It's always a reason to forgive. And I love you beyond you loving yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give you this before you might deserve it from me, because I'm not going to put myself in a position to be hurt again. And this way you can release that trauma and move forward with your life. Because, and then I'm gonna tell you again, I'll say it again. To all the healers out there that bust your fucking head open trying to help people more than they want to help themselves. Raise your hand in the room, put your hand up. If you're the kind of person that sometimes care about people more than they care about themselves. If you know how to love someone unconditionally, if you're one of those, truly, raise your hand. That's me. Like, I'm the type of person that will overgive you love. I have to learn how to not give, you know what I'm saying, the love. Because it's like, we become someone that overgives, that overshares, that overgives, right? Unconditionally. We are ready to forgive. We're the ones ready to forgive. We're the ones that's like ready to be the bigger person. We're the ones that's overlooking everything. Like, yeah, man, don't worry about it. It's all good. We're good. But we don't hold on to it. We don't hold the grudge. But it's a thin line between loving someone more than they could love themselves, and being stupid. Because if you're loving someone more than they love themselves, in an unhealthy situation, because you can love people from a distance, right? You can create distance so that you can love people from a distance. Not saying that you can't love someone more than they love themselves, but you can love them from a distance that's healthy for your self-esteem, right? So if you're loving someone more than they love themselves, you're not loving yourself by dealing with someone that doesn't love themselves. And you deserve better than that. And we're easily caught up in it because we put our fantasies on our lovers, right? We're like, yo, this person becomes something that you want them to be rather than what they really truly are. You believe in this person more than they believe in themselves. You see the greatness in this person more than they see themselves. Right? So, but that's the job of a healer. That's the job of the spiritual teacher, is to love people more than they love themselves. But you have to learn how to give, and this is where, you have to learn how much to give, right? How much do you give of yourself before you're like, okay, that's enough, until you show improvement and return some of that and show me that you are willing to work a little more. Then I'll give you some more. I mean, we have to learn how to budget our giving of our heart, right? We have to learn how to budget our love, because it's essential, because you be done gave so much and you done invested so much that it's hard to walk away. It's hard to let it go because you've invested so much into it, and you overgave, and so you become trapped in a circumstance that is no longer good for you. You know what I'm saying? So, right, set boundaries, Irvin. Setting boundaries is very important. So healing is changing one's perspective about your trauma. Stop being a victim. No one owes you anything. There was a difference between me and my younger brother. My younger brother always victimized himself. Both of us thought the world owed us something. We were walking around like somebody owed us something. Asking people like, can you give me this? Can you give me that? Right? I realized, like, yo, no one owes me anything. I gotta go get this. I have to do this for myself. Because I used to think that a woman was my mom. And so I would let her abuse me because she provided for me. And that was my relationship with my mom, abusive one, because I didn't know. But they hurt me right into my enlightenment. I hurt myself dealing with them right into my enlightenment. So pain is the greatest teacher. And I tell people all the time, pain is the greatest teacher. Change your perspective about everything. Question everything. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. Research everything. Open your mind and heart. The most loving people are the people that just don't take things for surface value. They're people that look deep into why. People that hurt easily don't really look deep into why. That's another thing I learned. Like, yo, people that hurt deeply, they don't look into things. Someone that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, the more you know, the less likely you are to hurt. You know what I'm saying? So, but then again, we're all sensitive, and I'm definitely sensitive. I'm a very sensitive person, individual, and it makes me an empath. My sensitivity is my gift. I'm able to channel other people's energy, feel energy. My eyesight isn't very good. If you wear glasses, I want to say this. I just want to throw this in there. I want to digress for a minute. Just to say this real quick. If you wear glasses, you're more likely an empath. Why? Because your outsight is lowered for your insight, your intuition. So you're feeding on intuition. You ever been driving in a car and you wasn't watching, and you realized you wasn't watching for a long time, but you knew what to do? That's called intuition. And a lot of water signs and a lot of people with water in their chart have bad eyes because of the simple fact that you have this intuition until you think something's wrong with you and you put glasses on, which kind of takes away from the intuition because you heighten one sense and the other one goes down. So there's not a mistake in you being nearsighted. You're nearsighted because you have a keen insight. You can't see far outside, but the more you sharpen your intuition, the less your eyes are gonna be able to see like sharper. You're not gonna have that 20/20 like that. You know what I mean? Unless you do some kind of surgery. But even with the surgery, it kind of messes with your intuition. You know what I'm saying? So leave your eyes alone. If you're wearing glasses, try to strengthen your optical nerve to actually see what's in front of you. And then try to use your intuition like a blind person to actually move and maneuver. Learn how to maneuver in your abilities. You're strengthening your abilities when you strengthen your intuition. So you weaken your intuition when you put those glasses on and depend on your eyes. When you want to depend on your intuition because your intuition is so sharp. You feel what I'm saying? So I just wanted to tell y'all that a lot of empaths, right? And to get back on subject, a lot of empaths are very sensitive individuals to the point where you can't even be in crowds of people. I used to be able to be in crowds of people, but as I came into my purpose, I literally cannot be around a lot of people at once, or I'll start like literally like taking on a lot of energy, become confused, and I'll lash out and I'll get all crazy. So I learned that, you know, isolation and being reclusive to me is a better situation for myself, so that I can have a clear mind and then channel one thing at a time. You know what I'm saying? Because if I have all this chaos going on at once, it creates a lot of confusion to the point where I'll get headaches, or I'll get confused, and I don't, you know, pains in my body. And you know what I'm saying? You know if you're an empath, you know what I'm talking about. If you're a channeler, if you're what is called a medium, you know, and we all are somewhat mediums, right? Because we all connected. But if you are hypersensitive, if you're a water sign, you get all your knowledge from feeling. Feeling is knowing. I mean, empaths are the most intelligent people because they're able to feel, but you can't just have intuition without logic. Your intuition has to match logic, and that's another whole download, and I won't get into that. I'm gonna get back on point, but that's a whole nother download. You know, intellect versus logic versus intuition, right? Both forms of intelligence, and they both must be balanced for you to be a complete individual. But the most understanding people, right? The healers. You're a healer. If you're a loving person, you're an understanding person. That means that you've been through a lot in life. Nothing impresses you. The thing that's going on in carbonation, you kind of like, okay, you want to know why, or if you ask questions and you're not just a surface dweller and you just get upset at everything you see or hear without asking why and trying to understand. I might have done things and said things that made you cry, right? On this camera, I made you get emotional. And you immediately have this love-hate relationship with me. You're up and down with me. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what you feel. One day you like, you know, I say some things, and then other times, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck? You know, so if you're not somebody that asks questions before you just be hit with a thought, feel you know, because, and I tell you this all the time, your feelings come from your thoughts. So if you hear a thought and you're someone that's empathic or sensitive, and you feel that and you would accept that and you embody that thought, you can feel it in your body, and it can make you do things if you're led by your thoughts. If you're feminine and you're led by your thoughts without thinking them totally through. And so what I've learned being an empath is to channel my feelings by controlling what I choose to think, and also asking lots of questions to get to the bottom of things, and not just taking things from face value, because everything can be understood. If you truly want to understand, and without judgment, you want to understand what the hell is really going on. And these are the healers. These are the real healers. The real healers, you can't get nothing by them because they see deeply into what's going on, right? So if you're a healer, you're someone that's very intelligent. You're empathic, and feeling is knowing. So the universe put you through so much, and you've learned so much from your experiences that you become someone that is very much in tune with the human spirit, and you realize, and you break the separation, you realize, yo, we all going through the same thing. There's nothing that you did that's so unique that we haven't thought about, or we haven't all had collectively thought about, and there's nothing to look down on you about, and there's nothing to condemn you about, and there's nothing to throw a stone at you about, because we're going through whatever. There might be, you're just hurt. It might be that you're going through something. It's always a forgiving spirit. It's always a healthy perspective. Healers don't hate people easily. They can't hate because they can understand. They've been put through so much in life. Life has whipped your ass, yo. And when you see somebody do something wrong, you're not quick to judge. You're like, wait, what, why? Wait, why would you, even if you don't like what's being heard, you ask why? Like, what? And you want to understand, and you seek understanding. Not from a subjective place, but to get the facts of the matter, and you collect data. Because you always love your aha moments. As a healer, we love that moment when you see past what was going on, and you get to the bottom of everything, but no one else understands, but you're the only person that gets it. We love that shit, right? We love the fact that we figured it out, but the rest of the world don't get it, because we feel special because of that. So we're constantly diving deep to find out what the real problem was, and trying to understand, because love is understanding, and the most loving people are the most understanding people. And there's no judgment that isn't sound, right? Because we're gonna make the decision, even if we feel some kind of way at first, like what the fuck, and we're mad. Later on, we're gonna be like, well, let me just do my due diligence and and get the facts of the matter before I come to a complete conclusion or judgment about it. And like I said, man, these are the healers, and you guys, if you are a healer, you gotta learn how to protect your energy. You gotta learn how to not overgive. You gotta learn how to budget your energy, and you need space. Okay, put yourself in spaces, because people need you to be at your best to help them. Okay, so take a break. Don't overgive. That's what I'm working on, learning how to balance and not overgive, and not undergive either. Like, I'm not giving enough. Like, I'll just stop going live altogether. I'm kind of meeting the balance now, where I'm not sharing my personal life, but I'm still sharing my knowledge, and I'm still connecting with you guys, where I felt really bad not being online. I feel like I wasn't giving enough, and now I'm overgiving. And this is in my pattern, so I'm learning as an empath, as a channel, as a medium, to actually learn how to give, how to understand, how to love. This is all a process of evolution, right, and evolving. I missed you guys. I miss being online, talking to the camera. I miss being on live, just being interactive with you guys. You know what I'm saying? And, I can only share my life with those that are here. If you're not here, I can't share it. You know what I'm saying? So I would love to. I would love to be like, yo, this is my. I love to be exposed. And I'm actually proud of the way I live my life. I'm actually proud of the way I think. I fucks with the way I think. You know what I'm saying? I think on a deep level. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people can't think on a deep level, because Babylon's got their mind on the kids and the job and money, and so they listen to me from some shallow place, and you can't listen to me from a shallow place, because I'm a deep thinker and I'm saying deep thoughts. And this is getting me in trouble, because at the end of the day, I'm talking to shallow-minded people, and 1% of the population that's watching me actually gets it on that deeper level. And then even them, if you're not here, you really truly don't get it. And even the people that are here are like struggling with it, like, whoa, this is really deep. But I'm so glad I'm able to put this frequency out and still help everybody. And I'm going to be doing another download tomorrow. You can look for me on a regular basis now. And yeah, man, just remember, hurt people. But sometimes those hurt people, that's hurting you, and the hurt is what's needed to bring out what needs to be looked at. So it's all here for a reason. If it wasn't a reason for it, it wouldn't be here, right?